name is Dahlia Kablawi. I am 27 years old and I work for the Mental Health Commission of Canada. And I wanted to say thank you for letting me share a little bit about my story to help you kind of figure out what success means to you in your lives. So I've been through kind of a lot of challenges and experienced quite a few barriers to achieving what I wanted to achieve, either in school or in my career. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't successful, Actually, the more I've gone through, the more successful I found that I've become. Because I was kind of forced to learn how to manage these issues and these challenges that I've faced. So for example, I struggle a lot with my mental health, particularly with anxiety. And what that usually means for me is that I would find it hard to concentrate on tasks. And I think that that's, a fairly common thing. And I think a lot of people struggle with that too. What that would mean is that things would kind of pile up and I would just procrastinate and just become more anxious and less likely to accomplish the tasks that I need to accomplish, and just wind up, going on my phone or scrolling on TikTok or whatever, which is not a problem, right? The issue is not TikTok. If you like TikTok, that's not a problem. But it was more, I wasn't able to manage my time very effectively, which led to more and more problems. And what I found worked best for me was that I needed ways to help me calm myself down when I was anxious and get back to the tasks that I had to kind of accomplish. And what that meant for me was a few different things. So I learned that I was more successful when I played something in the background when I was sort of going through my to-do list. So maybe some music or some white noise in the back. And I would take frequent breaks, which means I would get up and walk around or play with these like fidget toys on my desk to kind of get my mind off the anxiety. Little things like that, and do one thing at a time to really be able to focus on that one thing. And suddenly I would find that I was able to kind of fly through my to-do list, and whether that's to-do lists at school or chores around the house, whether it's laundry and dishes or work, it's all really the same thing. Once I addressed my anxiety, I was able to kind of do things faster and better. So that was one set of skills that I've learned through, over the years dealing with anxiety. Another thing I've learned is really important for me is to just be nice to myself. And I think I realized I was kind of my own worst enemy, and I was the harshest voice in my own head. I would always say, oh, I'm not good at this, or I'm not gonna apply to this job, or I'm not gonna do well at this class, or I'm never gonna beat my dad at chess. All those things would just be like, I would create these barriers in my own head. And then I realized, why don't I flip the script a little bit, because none of that is really true. It's really just what you tell yourself. I have been beating my dad at chess for years now. It's because it's based on, the fact that what is reality and what's true isn't what you tell yourself in your head. So when you're nicer to yourself and when you're kinder and compassionate with yourself, you start to build that confidence, and you start to have this sort of ability to go out and try new things and allow yourself to make mistakes. And so that's kind of what I've learned, is that there's no reason for you to think, oh, I'm not capable, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not strong enough, because those are all myths. And I think what I've learned to do is to kind of challenge that voice and say, that's not true. I can be successful in my friendships, in my relationships, in my job, at school, because you need to give yourself the opportunity to try. And you'll prove yourself wrong. In my case, I proved myself wrong, and look at me now. I find myself very successful, because I'm a different person, and I speak to myself in a much more kind and compassionate way. So those are a couple of the skills that I've sort of learned to develop over the years to help me with my challenges. And I wanted to pass those along to you, and make sure that you had those, those skills available to you. If you ever find yourself struggling, try to be kinder to yourself. Take a step back and say, am I being compassionate with myself? And am I, allowing myself the opportunity to make mistakes and learn from those mistakes? And kind of when it comes to thinking about what success means to you, I'll leave you with the challenge of thinking about success in a different way, and not just in terms of grades or in terms of achievements related to school. I put a lot of pressure on myself when I was in school, and that's how I defined my success. And I don't necessarily think that that's true. There is a life outside of school and outside of grades, and I just challenge you to look at success like that and to try to be kind to yourself in the process. So thank you very much and good luck.
My name is Rakshika, and I am 16 years old and consider myself a youth entrepreneur. To me, success is what drives us to be the best version of ourselves. Success means to me creating something that doesn't just help me, but also helps others. It helps the common good. Success is meeting your goals, whether in the perspective of business or life in general. Everyone has a different definition of success based on our personal values and morals and aims in life. As an entrepreneur with my own business, of course I have my own definition of success, and I will be sharing my story to tell you what success means to me. The funny thing about my story is that I started my business on a whim. I didn't have any intention on starting one, but one day, one of my aunts told me about an amazing opportunity. So every year, the government hosts a program called the Ontario Summer Company Program for youth in high school, college, and or university. Through the program, you get startup money to kick off a new summer business, and you also get advice and mentorship from local business leaders to help get the business running and to help make it do well. Like I said, I started this on a whim, and why, you may ask? Well, because I knew that starting my online tutoring business through this program will help me attain my definition of success. So, my definition of a successful business includes reaching my goals of income, but I wanted to gain more, and not only in the monetary sense. For a successful business, you need to gain strong connections through networking and clients. Attaining success obviously isn't easy in any business or life in a broader sense. We face so many obstacles and hardships along the way, and that is totally okay. So my biggest hardship was gaining clients. And as you know, if you have no clients, there is no business. It was rough when I started my business because it was the summer of 2022. So that's the year that the COVID restrictions started to ease. So honestly, most people went for vacation, and no kid wants to be tutored while they're on vacation. So I tried to market. I sent out flyers and tried to market in so many ways, but it almost felt nearly impossible. But guess who your best advertiser is? Any guesses? It's your family and friends, because their word of mouth is better than anyone else's. In my case, my best advocates and advertisers were my parents. So with their help, I gained my first client. And I started to tutor family, friends, and I built a good connection with the kids and the parents. Then those parents told their friends, and I got more clients, and they told their friends, and the chain of reaction continued. So the best marketing technique is word of mouth. So I think it is important to create a connection with every single client, especially consider the 80-20 rule. Around 80% of your income or sales probably comes from 20% of your customers. This does not necessarily mean that the 20% is the only one giving you your income, but the way they share with the word of mouth and advertising gives you so many more customers. So Now I tutor some kids in Sri Lanka. However, I do it for free because there are so many economic crises happening there. And another part of my definition of success is to help the greater good and try to make the world a better place. I think that one of the most important aspects of a successful business and also life is to have a stable support system. When everyone faces obstacles, they can feel really down. And that doubt of uncertainty of and whether or not you will be able to be successful is really the biggest enemy of success, which is why it is important to have someone to turn to when you face these obstacles, someone who can help you navigate bumps in the road, someone who gives great advice. And luckily, through the program, I had an amazing support system with the business consultants, and there were really great entrepreneurs that I could work with. I personally have trouble asking for help when I need it. I overbear myself with more than I can handle sometimes, and it took me a while to understand that it is okay to ask for help. Asking for support is really not a weakness, but being able to recognize when you need help is a strength. I know it sounds a little cliche, but it is really important to embrace the obstacles that you face because you learn from them and become a bigger person. So, in summary, my definition of success is the following: being surrounded by well wishers who will help you see the opportunities around you and taking a leap of faith to take advantage of those opportunities and turning them into what you need to lead a successful life or even a business. To maintain success, you need a good support system, one that you will use. You must be able to recognize when you need help and seek for it. To me, success isn't just about meeting my own goals. Success means helping others and making the world a better place. It makes your loved ones proud, but most of all, a successful business or life is a happy business or life. I hope that my story inspired you a little bit and helps you to write your own definition of success.